Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to take you step by step on how to apply eyeshadow for beginners. So if you don't really know what brushes to use, how to blend the products, I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. Before we're doing any eyeshadow, we actually need a base. You see some people using concealer on the eyelids. I don't actually like doing that because our eyelids are actually the oiliest part of our face. So if you put something that's a little bit too creamy, it's going to move. Or if it's something that's a little bit too thick, you're actually going to crease during the day. So I like to use an eye primer, or sometimes I use a cream eyeshadow that is really lightweight. That's just going to help me even out the tone and actually have something for the eyeshadow to grip to. I'm going to use the eyeshadow primer by Krylon, and I'm just getting a little bit. I'm going to spread that, and that goes on my eyelid. So I'm going to place that all over my eyelids. I can't see you at the moment, but it's just a really nice thin layer, and let that dry. So to apply the eyeshadow, you actually only need 2 brushes, and I'll show you why. You need a flat brush and you need a fluffy brush. So the flat brush is going to help you deposit a lot of color on the eyelid, and a fluffy brush is going to help blend everything and make everything looks really nice and seamless. Okay, so let me just show you. I'm using, let's say, this color here. You see the brush is loaded, and I am just patting that here. So you get a lot of color payoff. Now, if I use the fluffy brush and that same color, see, brush is loaded, a much softer application. Okay, so same color, different brush. So you need to remember that what kind of effect you're trying to create when you're doing your eyeshadow. Okay, so that's why you only need 2 brushes. So I'm going to start with a fluffy brush and this color here. Always tap the brush to get the excess off. So I'm just going to place that very gently just around my crease. Okay, my eye is actually getting a little bit saggy with age, so I need to think about my placement. The placement of your eyeshadow will change depending on your eye shape. So let me just blend that in, and I'm also bringing that color just under the eye as well. Okay, so I have a bit of a transition color going on there. Now I'm going to switch my brushes, and I'm going to use a flat brush. So you can see that was a very nice cool shade, but I'm actually going to use 2 different shades here. So I'm actually going to use, I really like that. It's kind of like a golden bronzy color, and I do like to mix and match them, which is fine. And I'm going to push that on the eye. Okay, we're going to blend more later, so you don't have to worry too much about it. So I'm just pushing that. You see how I'm not going back and forwards with my brush? I'm actually pushing that eyeshadow on the eyelid. Now I want to go for this shade. I'm going to place that on the outer corner, so just halfway out. And again, it looks patchy, don't worry about it. Getting a little bit more. Now I'm going to use the tip of this brush just here, and I am going to get the color just there, and I'm going to bring under the eye as well, as close as you can to the lash line. Now we're going back to the blending brush, and we're going to blend the edges again. I can see there's a bit of a smudge there, so I can use my finger. Let's just blend that. Now I feel like I need a little bit more intensity, so I'm going to use a darker shade just to frame the eyes a little bit more. It's nice and warm, but I do feel like I need something a little bit, stronger. So I'm going to mix the black with this brown, just the tip, excess off, and I'm going right on the edge of my eye. So really close to the lash line. I am just going to push the product again really close to the lash line. And you see how I start adding a little bit more definition to the eye. Okay, so I'm going to do that on this corner and on that corner as well. Again, I am mixing 2 colors, which you can do. There's no problems with that. Excess off, and then again, really close to the lash line. and you're just pushing the product. Again, I'm not blending, I'm not going back and forwards. I'm just really gently pushing the product really close to the lash line. And I'm gonna do that on both sides. You see, I'm doing that from halfway out because I wanna elongate my eye a little bit. Now we go back with the same blending brush and we're gonna smudge that a little bit so it's nice and soft. Black sometimes can be really hard to blend, so if you are going to use black, use a little bit and build it up if you need it, because it can be very hard to blend. Just blending that really nice and softly. Now you see how it's kind of like nice and soft, okay? If I want to build up a little bit more color on the edges just to elongate the eye, I need to start adding a little bit more layers, okay? So I can mix these 3 shades. I am a mixer in case you haven't noticed yet. And I'm just going to be very soft and gentle just here on the outer corner, okay? And I'm just kind of intensifying. Oh, the sun came out. I'm just intensifying that. Okay. It needs a little bit more blending. That's fine. I'm not adding more product. I'm just smoking it out. And see how here at the end I'm just kind of lifting. Yeah, I'm not going sideways. I'm not done yet, but can you see how I have no fallout? Okay, so this comes down to first technique, second product. Okay, if the product is too powdery, it will have a little bit too much left over and it will just drop and you're gonna have all the eyeshadow on your makeup. I always do foundation first and eyes later. But then that's something that comes with time as well, because I've been a makeup artist for nearly 20 years now. So I got used to it, applying the foundation first and doing eyes later. And I learned over time not to have fallout. Okay. So learning a technique, taking the excess off after you apply the eyeshadow to your brush and choosing the right products that don't actually have fallout, that will give you the results that you actually want. Okay, now to clean that edge on the bottom, I can use a cotton bud. Just make sure this is dry. It's dry first because I have already done my base. And second, if you have makeup remover on your cotton bud, you're actually going to remove everything that's under. And because it's wet, when it gets in contact with the eyeshadow, you're going to create a line. So what you're trying to do here is just to gently remove any unwanted product. I'm just rolling that cotton bud, trying to get rid of that. I can see a little mark here, but that's fine because I can actually correct that with the concealer. And I'm going to do the same thing here, just removing. You can see that excess I got out just with the dry cotton bud. Now I'm going to fix my eyebrows and I'll come back. Now with the Digital Complexion Concealer, I'm going to mix 2 shades because I don't have my exact shade on that concealer. I like to apply concealers with brushes like this. So I'm just mixing the 2 shades and I am just going to gently push that on the skin. And I like to use my finger and just push that product on the skin. Again, I'm not doing any rubbing, but you see how that kind of helps lifting the eye as well. And same thing on the other side. I am just going to push that product on the eye. And just remember, you don't actually have to apply concealer all under the eye. It just depends on what pigmentation you have, what needs to be concealed. Not just everything that you see on Instagram is right. Using my finger and pushing that product here. And you see how I get much more lifted look. Now, if I need to blend anything else a little bit more, I can go back to my blending brush. No more product, just blending whatever is left. I'm going to apply mascara and I'll come back. If you enjoyed this tutorial and if you want to learn something else, please mention on the comments below.